I had a student that wasn't behaving real well, was creating a disruption, and I walked into a room, and there were some expletives and some things that were said that were directed towards me, and within 8 seconds, suspended the student. That's all I knew, 8 seconds. And the student is now a dropout from school. We were not able to meet his needs. I wasn't able to repair the damage.
It was just like a waking up and realizing today's gonna be another. I don't even pull out my binder. I didn't even have the motivation to bring my backpack to school.
For a time period, we were all about state scores and doing everything by the book. And there was more pressure on creating a product instead of knowing a person.
I think when I first started teaching, sometimes it felt like I need to be this adult and I need to be only professional all the time.
The vision before the promise was data-driven. We talked a lot about technical, academic type skills, which are important, but they're not the most important thing. This is actually kind of tricky. That's really fun.
I know.
On all 4 of those days.
Before, I was the type of leader that would work to follow policies, to complete tasks that were given, but maybe not pay as much attention to the needs of the staff that I had in the building. It seemed like we were always trying to change and do things, but we're getting the same results year in and year out. I don't know what the vision was. And I was the principal. That's my job, is to rally people around a common vision. But we simply didn't know what it was.
A couple years ago, Steve started doing this training with us that was about meeting people where they are and knowing who they are as people, because you can't teach them until you know who they are.
Student doesn't show up prepared for class, they get marked down. Student doesn't bring a book, they're marked tardy. Those are real typical things in public education. But what it is lacking is the seeing of them as a student. Do we know why they're not prepared? Do we know why they don't dress down in PE? Do we know why their homework isn't done?
People have needs that make them more or less effective at their jobs. And if you're seeing a person as a person, you're being more in tune with what their needs might be.
Having an outward mindset to me means seeing people as equal and seeing their wants and needs the same as mine.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Outward mindset.
Thank you.
What can I do to make your job easier?
To see somebody as a person means that I just know who they are and I know what's going on in their life, and I'm not just looking at them as a grade in my grade book. I'm looking at them as a human, caring about them more deeply than just as like, oh, they're just somebody I see for 55 minutes every day.
Our mindset informed our promise and shaped our vision by bringing it back to why we exist as an organization, and that is to support kids. We need to know who those students are. We need to know them by name. We need to know them by what their strengths are. We need to know what their challenges are so we can adjust our efforts to help them to achieve their greatest potential.
The promise here at Dallas is that every child is known, that we know their strength, we know their name, and we know their need. If kids aren't seen as people, then I don't think that it's possible to live that promise.
Putting the students first as people gives us the opportunity to empower them to find what they're best at, find what speaks to them. And if I don't know a student, I can't hope to do that.
So we have, remember, a solution to a linear equation. Thank you, Miala.
If they don't think that you know them, if they don't think you care about them, if they don't think that you notice them in your classroom, why are they going to listen to you and why are they going to trust you when it comes to this challenging material?
Good to go to a 0, as in I have no idea what's happening right now up on the board.
The most important part of my job is to be available.
Do the Dracula. Hey, my cross-country people, I'm on my way. Cool.
Let kids know that they are loved. And if that means that I'm saying, hey, settle down over there, or come on in, welcome, they know they're loved.
Have a great day.
Knowing students by name, strength, and need. We as teachers can jam kids full of content and we can educate them all we want, but if we never address their specific needs, if we never get to know them, I think we've missed the mark entirely. And then you just leave it blank.
All right, here's what I want to see out.
Haley, I remember from our very first day together, and looked like a deer in headlights, very spooked, was in a brand new place, didn't know anyone. And so I just went to go start talking to her and asking her about how she was, how's her life going. She mentioned that she was from West Salem, and I was like, oh, me too. And immediately I saw her eyes light up, and there was somebody who understood at least one aspect of her.
Miss Wolf. She has been one of my best friends, I guess, since I've been here. There's been times where I've had some really rough days. I'll come to school after something goes on with my personal life. She talks to me like I'm a person and not just a student. Like, it goes beyond I'm just a kid in her math class.
It's wonderful when we can get through that content, when you can teach them all of these new and exciting things about math. But if they don't think that you know them, if they don't think you care about them, if they don't think that you notice them in your classroom, why are they going to listen to you and why are they going to trust you when it comes to this challenging material?
The way that I've been treated here by my teachers and the people that I'm around, it makes me personally want to treat people better.
Next year. That's good. Next year you can do theater.
Kids always have that wall that's built up when it comes to adults. And I think that once that wall, that barrier starts breaking down, the trust that they have for an adult is huge.
Come on, Aiden, you can do it.
One of the implications of the outward mindset is you get somebody like Carolyn who is out proactive, talking with kids. We take a cafeteria in an entire school that used to have food all over the floor and paper and trays, that now all of a sudden that's gone. And it just comes from talking with kids and helping hold them accountable, and they will keep things cleaner because they don't want to disappoint Carolyn. I think it's just part of the work that she's done, and it's hugely important, and it has a positive impact on the culture and the look of our building.
Start heading out, people. Let's go. Have a good day, you two.
My son this year is a senior. When he was a freshman, had an opportunity to sit down with him and say, you are coming into my world, and you need to not mess up my world. But I can't imagine now going to him and say, don't mess up my world. Before Arbinger, before Outward Mindset, would never have considered what it might be like to be the son of a principal. And that's a challenge. So that is what the Outward Mindset has brought. It has brought a different perspective on every student, including my own. So freshman year, set your goal on what you're going to get as a senior. Yeah, you'll set all the records for our building.
Yeah. I've already set one.
What's that?
The cutest freshman.
Oh my goodness. If I am trying to apply these principles to change someone else, it's the wrong reason. I'm doing it to change me. Did you get your permission slip in? I can't have an impact on others unless I myself am outward first. What's up, Mr. Beffley?
Steve has been my only administrator. his attitude has changed, and that sometimes he'll go, oh yeah, totally, you're human, like it's good. Or I'm good with you using your judgment, and if you need to take a day and not teach Spanish today and you need to just focus on the relationships you're building in your class, I'm super supportive of that.
On record here, Steve is one of the most outward people that I've ever seen. I know I'm getting all like up in here. But no, Steve just, it's not that he believes in it, he practices this, and he also is so open about struggling with it. He is such a good example of this outward leadership by being honest with the staff. There have been staff meetings where he sat us down and just been like, folks, this is not what I wanted to have happen, but here we are. And he's so upfront about anything that could be considered a shortcoming. It makes it okay for the rest of us to have those conversations.
I see this boss who asks us how our weekend was, asks us what's going on. He knows who we are, he cares. And it's easy to be a teacher that cares when you have a boss that cares too.
I'll do it. All right, see ya.
I remember coming freshman year and expecting the exact same from middle school, which was everybody accepting me to just fail.
I got these, commentaries from middle school teachers like, oh, that's a tough kid, he's gonna give you a hard time.
He was a student that would be in my office often because things weren't optimal. And if things were optimal, he would be in class.
Every period, he would ask to leave and he would want to walk around the halls. And I finally looked at him and I said, hey, I know it's really hard coming from a family where everyone ahead of you has been so successful and you feel like that maybe that's not something you can do. I disagree, and I have total faith in you that school is gonna work for you and you are gonna be a super successful young man. And the minute I told him I believed in him, he started coming in all the time.
You did all those assignments last night? You skipped school to do homework?
Yes, I did all of it. She was the first person to ask me how I was doing, and that right there meant a lot. When someone else like her puts in the effort for me, I almost feel bad if I don't put in the same effort. I know that I can walk in there anytime and I can talk to her about how I'm feeling. If I need any help with anything, I know she's gonna be there for me. I know she's gonna have my back. I know that she wants to help me. I definitely see her as a best friend.
Yeah, I fixed it. So on the warm-up on yesterday, so it's just excused.
I asked them, how do you really see your future? And he just said, Laura's like my best friend. So, that's really cool.
I had no idea he felt that way. I just did my job. I just did what I would do for anybody. I treated him like I'd treat my own kids.
In the course of about the last 6 months, he is an absolutely different student. He is showing a side that is markedly different because we are paying attention to his needs. How are you? What's for lunch today? I will tell you that I've heard a lot of people say that they're excited about the Mexi Mac and Cheese. In 22 years of education and in a number of years as a principal, I've certainly seen initiatives come and go. I've been a part of rolling them out and trying to sustain them. This has been quite possibly the easiest and most challenging all at the same time. But it has been the most effective and the most unifying initiative that I've been involved in.
Even though we all have, different positions in this building, we are all on the same page. We are all looking to make each other's jobs easier.
I've done all this because I recognize that I'm the one who needed to change.
At a school, we have created an environment where the kids, they actually miss being at school when they don't have the opportunity to be there.
When I'm not here, it's weird. Being away from school gets boring, and not being with my people.
I really feel like our promise to our students and the whole vision that we've been creating through our outward mindset has allowed us to do that for kids.
The minute that we changed our relationships with kids and started really looking at them as humans, They wanted to be here. They wanted to be in our classes. They wanted to work for us. The data did. It just followed the kids.
The most important thing here is the people. It's the students, it's the staff, it's this community that we have built. We're trying our best to connect with everybody and establish some of those relationships that end up really being the foundation for what we do here.
I am doing this because people need to be seen. And I believe that there's a bigger mission out there, and that so many of the issues and problems that we face as a society could be resolved if people knew that they mattered.